All right, today we are diving deep into VeChain. Now, this isn't your typical crypto project that's just about digital money. Nope, this one is all about tackling real, tangible problems out there in the world. So let's break down how it all works.
So, have you ever found yourself staring at a label in a store, maybe for some fancy olive oil or even a luxury handbag, and just wondered, is this the real deal? Where did it actually come from? We basically just have to trust what we're told. But what if you didn't have to just trust? What if you could prove it? Well, that's the exact problem VeChain set out to fix.
This whole process has a name, right? It's called supply chain tracking. And honestly, it's the invisible engine behind almost everything we buy. But here's the thing. It can be a total mess. It's often murky, not very transparent, and that's where the trouble starts. It's so easy for mistakes or even outright fraud to slip in anywhere along the line, from the moment it's made to the moment you pick it up.
And that's where VeChain steps onto the stage. Think of it as the answer to all those supply chain headaches. It's designed to use blockchain to inject some serious trust and transparency right back into the system.
So how does it do it? Well, here's the magic trick. By putting a product's entire life story onto the blockchain, which is basically a super secure, unhackable digital record book, VeChain creates this one single, undeniable source of truth. Every single stop on its journey, from the factory to your front door, gets locked in forever. You can see it all.
Okay, but let's be real. In the tech world, and especially in crypto, buzzwords and promises are everywhere. The proof is in the pudding, right? The real question, is anyone actually using this stuff? So let's check out how VeChain is taking this cool idea from theory to reality with some pretty big names.
And wow, this really says it all. We're not talking about some small-time pilot programs here. We're talking about Walmart China using it to make sure their food is safe. We're talking about BMW using it to stop people from rolling back odometers on used cars. And it's even being used for sustainability, to track carbon footprints. These are huge, legitimate, real-world applications.
And that really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? At the end of the day, the projects that are going to stick around are the ones solving actual problems. You know, a lot of crypto can feel like it's just about speculation, but with VeChain, its value is linked to something you can actually point to, a solution to a real business problem.
But okay, having big-name partners is fantastic, but it's only half the battle. The tech itself has to keep up. It has to be strong enough to handle what these global giants are going to throw at it. So let's pop the hood and see what VeChain is doing to get ready for the big leagues.
It really boils down to three main goals. First, they need to get faster and handle way more activity. That's scalability. Second, they need to be able to talk to other blockchains and systems. That's interoperability. And if they nail those two, it makes it so much easier to get more huge companies on board, which is the ultimate goal, adoption.
And the secret sauce to making all this happen is a huge upgrade they call Stargate. And it's not just a cool sci-fi name, I promise. It's a massive overhaul of their whole system, making everything from how transactions are confirmed to how the network is governed just better. It's all about making the platform tough enough for prime time.
Okay, so we've talked tech, we've talked partners. Now let's switch gears and talk about what a lot of you are probably wondering about, the money. For any crypto project, the token is a massive part of the conversation. For VeChain, that's VET. So let's look at its journey and what might be coming up.
And yeah, if you've been in crypto for a little while, this story is probably going to sound pretty familiar. You've got that insane peak back in the 2021 bull market, and then the big slide down during the bear market that followed. So of course, the million-dollar question is, where do we go from here?
Just look at that. It hit a peak of about 25 cents. On one hand, that number shows you just how much excitement and hype was swirling around the project. But on the other hand, a peak that high, well, it almost guarantees a painful fall is coming. And this is so important to remember. This roller coaster ride isn't a VeChain thing. It's a crypto thing. The entire market moves in these giant cycles, driven by hype and fear. We call them bull and bear markets, and honestly, VET's chart is a perfect picture of what that looks like.
And just to make things more interesting, you have to throw regulation into the mix. This is a huge deal. Over in Europe, they've got this new MiCAR framework, which basically gives everyone a clear rulebook to play by. That's a really good thing. But then you look at the US, and it's still kind of the Wild West. That uncertainty can really spook the market.
So, with all that in mind, what's the forecast for 2025? Well, if you ask 10 different analysts, you might get 10 different answers. You've got the super pessimistic bear case, which sees the price dropping even more. Then you have the super optimistic bull case, picturing a big comeback. But what's really interesting is where a lot of them meet in the middle, a kind of neutral zone, somewhere in that 4 to 6 cent range.
And really, that brings us right back to the core question, the big one. On one side, you have VeChain, with its proven real-world utility and huge partners. It's actually doing something. But on the other side, you have the wild, unpredictable crypto market and this looming cloud of regulation. So, is having a great product that solves real problems enough to win in this crazy space? That right there is the billion-dollar question.